It's about time you upgraded your arsenal. Luckily engineer's team has rather nice weapon storage for us to access.
TF2 has pretty fun weapons. I really like a lot of the shotguns in the game, but you know what I also like? A shotgun that's consistent to use. What I am trying to say is that TF2, as any shooter, has lots of weapons to choose from, and over the years I have learned what loadouts are the most optimal to use. But the thing is, despite me knowing this, I have noticed that some newer players, like most of my friends, usually rock some questionable gun choices that put them at a disadvantage. And believe me, I probably sound like a massive dickhead and control freak to them whenever I have to explain to them that Southern hospitality is so pointless. Like, for God's sake, you will do better with any other friends than that. So as a way to not appear entirely like an asshole, I will try to showcase what is in my opinion the most optimal loadouts to use for each of the 9 classes and make a list of weapons you should avoid using unless you are feeling special or just want a challenge. Obviously some classes have multiple good loadouts to use, so I'll try to showcase them as well, as showing one loadout for someone like an engineer is like putting a triangle at the square hole. And I do want to point out that I am not some pro or really the best player out there. I just want to make this video to help some people who struggle to choose proper loadouts and not generally get stumped by people who have spent too much time on this game. Like me. Wow, I do sound like an asshole. Now, before I start, I once again want to remind everyone that these are my opinions, so don't rip your game pants if you think my choice of loadout isn't the best one. Got it? Alright, let's start. For Scout, his optimal loadout is the Scattergun, Pretty Boy's Pocket Pistol and Frap Assassin. Scattergun is pretty self-explanatory, it's the best shotgun for Scout. Pocket Pistol has higher DPS and healing potential, so it's in my opinion better than stock. Frap Assassin does basically no melee damage, but you don't use it to beat enemies to death, you use it to throw festive ornaments at 100 km per hour and cause enemies to bleed dead, just like how Father Christmas approves. But, as always, not everything is black and white, so you can use weapons like Soda Popper as it's a pretty good side grave if you can aim with it, Mad Milk is an excellent support weapon, and Atomizer gives you extra mobility for basically free. And here is the list. Use basically any weapon in lower tiers should be avoided if you wish to actually do well. Soldier is fairly difficult to choose one optimal loadout for, as most of his secondaries and melees are good, but here are the weapons. Rocket Launcher does not need introduction, your choice of shotgun, for mine it's Panic Attack and Disciplinary Reaction to whip your teammates for speed boost. Don't get any other ideas, you degenerate. Now, if you were to change weapons, you could use combos for more roaming playstyle, Battalion to support your team as that damage resistance is quite huge, and Escape Plan to run away from the cops as whipping people is not legal. But please be kind to me if I am wrong, as I really do try my best to make sure to not spout some bullshit. None of you will ever know what I said. I might have said a secret to eternal happiness or something offensive, but that will remain one of nature's mysteries. But luckily Pyro's optimal loadout is not a mystery. The Crescent has faster weapon switch speed, which then greatly enhances with Panic Attack speed, and Power Jack is great utility to run faster from the police as they're still looking for you for whipping people. If you want to change things, stock is great for you holding one button down, Score Shot is Score Shot, and Back Scratcher makes you more independent from medics and dispensers with the increased medkit healing. Just remember that if you can increase your burst damage, you should most of the time go for it. Demon Man is simple, just go with his stock weapons. If this video was made back in like 2012, it would be a different story. If you want to, you could use Iron Bomber as it's so close to stock, and Scoutman Skull Cutter as it has those ridiculous random crits along with extended melee range and extra damage. But I usually die when I try to pull it out, so choose which one you prefer. But wait, since Demonite is a thing, you should use Booty, Splendid Screen and Half Satoshi. I guess you could use Tide Turner or Islander, but really I do not care about Demonite that much, so let's just move on. Oh heavy, I do wonder when they will make that update dedicated to you. But for the meanwhile, you should use Tomislav as it's more accurate, faster, and that silent ref is good at ambushing and blowing enemies' backs. Sandwich is great for you and your teammates, and Gru allows you to hit that subscribe and like button faster. Ayy! Now again, if you want to change things, use the stock minigun for maximum DPS, banana if you plan on playing solo, or fist of steel to build uber faster if you have any medics in your team, or if the enemy team has that one sniper main who really should consider employment. But if you ask me, Tomislav is the best option and it's not up for debate. If I see anyone disagreeing with me with this one, I will call you mean things. Engineer is quite the enigma of this video, as he does not have one optimal loadout, as it keeps changing depending on the game. But if you were to only have one for defense, it will be Rescue Ranger to repair buildings from far away, Wrangler to tank huge amounts of damage, and Jack to build things up faster. But obviously for NG you need to change weapons on the fly, so use stock/panic attack if you have trouble with French people, Eureka effect to have cheaper teleporters and ability to teleport. You should use Eureka as your main friends in general if you're far away from spawn. And for battle NG, use stock shotgun for close range pew pew, pistol for mid range and last resort pew pew, and gunslinger for extra HP and mini sentry. But wait, there's more! Panic attack is great at small maps, short circuit is great for spamming at the card and causing the projectile classes to get depressed, and Jack is also great at offense as it has faster build speed. Trust me, I know this stuff as I have 1k hours on engineer, and while I will recommend most of NG's weapons, these guns give you the most optimal experience. Except Southern Hospitality. You hear me, funny Brazilian? Stop using it for God's sake. Yeah, you see, the medic is quite simple, my friend. Use the crossbow for burst healing, medicam for the uber and uber sub for more uber. But wait, if you struggle with aiming, overdose is good with speed bonus and crit streak is quite good in defense, yeah? But if you want good sight, use the first loadout. G'day, wanker. Sniping is a good job, mate. So to have the most optimal loadout for him, use a stock rifle as it's the most consistent, and then Charati and Bushwaka to have the nasty crit combo. Charati in general is a really busted unlock because you get to deal mini crits for basically free, but if you have any shred of self-respect after choosing to play sniper, use all stock as SMG is pretty good self-defense weapon and Kukri has no downside, so it's decent. For the sniper rifle you go to use Bazaar Bargain if you can land your shots, as it's basically stock but better, but you stick with this loadout if you suck at aiming. Like me! And for spy, man, I have a hunch that I'm going to anger so many spy mates. But for spy, use all stock. They're the most consistent weapons to do well with and don't affect your damage or survivability. If you want to change weapons, Bicycle allows you to survive pyro a bit better, and Ranger is great for its longer cloak duration. Now I guess I shall probably include the Pop Stomping Spy loadout that includes Diamondback, Kunai and Deathringer, but I have made an entire video on it and other loadouts that I have a high distaste for it, so if you want to see me genuinely crash out, I recommend watching that. And these are the loadouts you should be using. Now please keep in mind that while these loadouts are good, you should not limit yourself, as with medic, crit streak is not optimal all the time, but it's such a fun unlock to make people hate you, and Widowmaker makes you play like it's 1993. Just try out different guns and see which ones you enjoy using, as long as it's not actively hindering your ability to play. But if you struggle with picking the right weapons, then this will be a general guide on the loadouts you should choose. So do like the video if you enjoyed it, comment down below of your own thoughts regarding these weapons, except with Southern Hospitality and Tomislav, I will not budge on my stance on them. Subscribe for more social related content and have a nice day.
Hey, robot!
Now this is what you call a big gun.
I really would like to see Kumajon's reaction when he realizes he isn't the only one in the room with a BFG.
My lord, the inspection's going well. We have only found a couple flaws that should be fixed.
Excellent. While the teleporter remains unfit to use, I do believe we are closer to a scene in total dimensional domination. Continue working. I will get to your world, trash bot. Even if it takes me millennia to get there, your Earth will be part of my empire, along with the rest of the dimensions.